Okay, guys, last time you saw the throttle body injection, I found a junky valve and I 2055 and I cut it for a 45. What I did is I took the junky valve and I just put a 50 on it. I didn't change the back cuts or anything. It's got double back cuts on it because it's so far bent. It's a mess. It's a mess. So, is that affecting our numbers? Probably a little bit. Not a huge amount. As far as our liquid in the bowl, it seems a little thinner to me, as far as a little narrower. And in the chamber itself, you can definitely see that triangular shape going down. Overall, not bad. How does it look on our valve? I think it's a little narrower than the last time we saw it. Let's see what the bore looks like. Okay, I think that's better than the last time we saw it. Right, nice and wide. Not a huge drip. Looks good. Okay, you can see our dicam is a little bit straighter, straight vertical on our bowl. It's a kind of interesting because, you know, the 50, obviously when you do the 50, you have to reshape the bowl to the bottom cut because it's a deeper valve job, right? So it does change things. Why don't we measure up? We had an 87.5% throat on the 45. Let's see how much different it is on the 50. It's probably a tiny bit bigger. It's probably about 88. Let's measure that. Okay, it only changed a little bit. It's 87.8% throat, so it only opened a tiny amount. Okay, let's take a good look at this. I would like to see some more liquid coming around here, but still, remember, this is still relatively shrouded compared to our big valve. You can see how much more we took out of this. We brought this open to a 400 gasket size and gave it some more room. We also had way better flows on that than we have on this, but this is still it's a 2055. That's a 2.1. I am trying to get what I can get out of the smaller valve. I would really like to be able to get this done with a 2055. Doesn't really look good at this point. Okay, so this was our 20th cut. That's what you guys saw last. This is the 21st cut, but I forgot the bolt, so we're not even going to look at that. Oh, and then I spent another hour and did it over again with the bolt in. So this is what we've got. Minus, 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 plus, plus, equals, minus, minus, minus. It is not a winner. You would think the 50 would do better, but when we take a look at what the airspeeds did, our airspeeds for the 45 were really quite good. Yeah, the pinch is starting to hold us up. I took it at 600 lift. Our roof was alive. We had plenty going across the ramp. This was fairly even. It's not like that on the 50. And notice what it did to our swirl. It knocked our swirl back everywhere. But if we're running at 600, we're good still. We still have plenty of swirl to get it done. Let's take a look at our airspeeds. Okay, that's our 20th cut. This is our 21st cut with the 50. Higher, higher, lower. Anytime we're over 300 on the bench, it's time to give it some more area as far as I'm concerned. We came down just a few feet per second on the ramp. We came down a little bit on both sides of the roof because it's a different valve job, right? It makes the short side work differently. Here's where our big difference is. Okay, notice what our short side speeds were, and notice what they are. Didn't change on this side, but our center of the cylinder changed a lot. I put a flow ball on that spot, and the flow drops drastically. I should say, with a flow ball at 800, this goes to 287. So that's telling me the short side needs more work. Now, how much more work can we do to it before we break through the casting? Well, it's a good, It's something you got to watch. That casting is right about 125 thousandths at this point, which I think is a good thickness for something that's going to be beaten like a red-headed stepchild. I'm not afraid of that thickness. But remember, it doesn't have a steep layback. Somebody wanted me to show how I do the short side as far as the solder. Let me see if I can find my stand. Okay, guys. Let me just grab. I got you set up on the camera. Let's see. I'm going to take this. We're going to straighten this out. I'm going to give it a couple whacks to make sure it's nice and straight. The straighter the better. I like a little bit heavier solder because you can reuse it quite a bit. Now, when I do this for DV's IOP program, what I do is I take the end of the solder and I bring it right along the floor and I bring it right to the edge of the gasket manifold face. Okay? Apologize for my dirty hands, guys. I don't know how guys do these videos and have clean hands. I can't manage it. Okay, you want it right in the center. You want to pull this tight and bring it all the way back. Then you have to go in there with your fingers and make sure it's laying flat against that floor. Okay, I think you guys can see that. You pull it out. Now when you pull it out, it bends a little bit because in reality this is only right about there. So that's what our short side shape looks like. It's still quite steep. Okay, but this leading edge here, there's not a huge amount of metal. Would I be able to push my luck? Yeah, sure, we could. And you have to remember, if we go to a bigger valve, right, this area here needs to be brought back a little bit. And that angle makes it very difficult to measure. Alrighty. Let's pause you guys. Alright, guys. Well, as far as what we're going to do on these next, what it really needs, it needs more work on that short side, according to our airspeeds. And if it doesn't come alive, remember there was a couple things that really made the bigger valve work. It was taking a bunch of area out of this bowl, right? And raising that roof. Even though our roof speeds are low, that seems to have helped. Something to think about. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Did I forget anything? I think we covered everything. This is going to air later in the week, but tonight is Sunday. DV asked me to join his live. We're going to try that, see how that works tonight. And hopefully that works out. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a good night.